Hello, how you guys doing? My name's Ivor. I'm going to talk about the gear, guitar stuff in general, and I was going to focus a lot about technique and different ways to improve picking, legato, those kinds of things. Some of the things I work on, um, and pretty much I'm just a hard rock and roll guitar player, and I'm just trying to make some good rock music when I'm recording with the guys and I like to be able to play on a guitar like other instruments and improvise and those kinds of things like saxophone and jazz and all that kind of stuff. But I like hard rock and roll and metal. But I try to infuse all them things into my style, and I figured I'm just going to share that with some of you guys, and we'll just talk general music stuff. And like one of the things I really worked on a lot over the years and recently started acquiring again was picking. Like this is more for like some guys that are soloing, already got some chops or are looking to get that and have a decent understanding of playing. This isn't for the beginner, but I could give you some beginner stuff. you know, like I remember when I went to college and they did jazz there, and I remember I used to pick like this, and then like I was really good at it, and I was really fast, and I remember he made me pick from the elbow, and like that messed my whole thing up. And then I just gave up on that, went into classical guitar, picking with your fingers, and I wound up losing my picking for a long time, and I'm just sort of acquiring the cleanness, the sharpness, and the speed that I used to have when I used to pick like that. But I like to kind of lean my pick sort of both ways. I don't know if you look at some of the other players that can do that really well, like Steve Morris and Paul Gilbert and those kind of guitar players. That's kind of like what I go for when I'm looking at the pick. But the biggest thing is that you're making small movements, and then there's different types of picking. But you're not going to get really good at moving across the strings and stuff unless you can pick really good on one string first. And a lot of guys, doing like, hard rock or metal, that sort of stuff. It's a little easier to pick on that lower string than it is the higher string, because you got to make smaller, more accurate movements. And I would recommend doing like tremolo exercises, meaning a continuous picking on one string that changes the same way, always with a down pick. So I guess that would be leading with a downstroke either way, whether you're going up or down, or you can consider it outside picking. But let's get to like something that sounds cool. Like I acquired a bunch of these type exercises over the years and from different players and made some of them my own. But this one really focuses pretty good on how to get accurate across all the strings. And you can do it in the major form or minor form, and I mean, some of the guys that are into the metal stuff might rather do it in minor, or some of the guys who are, more, if you're doing like a happy metal song, you probably want to use the major scale, because that sounds brighter. If I'm focusing on E, and since we're going to focus a lot on open strings with this, you it would be either an E major or E minor. So we'll get down to the basic notes of it. I'll play it real quick, slow and fast. I'll do the minor and the major. So the major would sound like this. I'll start up at the A on the 17th fret here, and and then I'll go to the 16th fret. I use my middle finger, but you can use any finger you feel like. You're only going to need one for this, but I'm just going to give you the scale shape. So E major all along the high string, 16, 14, 12, 11, 5, so forth. So if I do that major and I do it in 16th notes, so I'm only hitting that scale note once, and I'll use open strings on the remainder. So it would be down, and the up, down, up would be an open string. You know, like that. So if I play that faster, you know, like when you get these. Change strings. Yeah, and you can even mess around with the way you want to do it and make it interesting. And come all the way back up, you know, if you want more time on one string, because all the strings feel different on the pick, you know. It seems like it might be, like on the G string, it seems a little easier to pick for me. You know, I can get faster on the G string than I can some of the other strings, and a little cleaner. Even when I mute it, and I tend to mute the G string a lot because of the noise. When you use high gain, it usually sticks out, and that for some reason, like it sort of sounds cooler, you know, when you're across the lower strings to mute them. I can play them open too. It depends on what I want to sound like, but it always has that nice shredder, kind of like you're ripping a guitar apart if you mute the first 3 or 4 strings. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's something a couple other players do a lot too. But I could do them open too. You know, it just depends. You need to leave your hand certain ways and your palm on the strings to keep that distortion from ringing out. I'm sure a lot of other experienced players that are probably going to watch this know this stuff already. Probably going to laugh at me, but then you can do it in the minor too. The important thing is that, say I'm just going through all the pattern, right? In E minor now. So that would be 15, 14. I'm going to use the harmonic minor. That would be a D sharp in there, but and then 12, 11. So you know, all downstrokes, and you can count that too. You know, rhythm's really important. But first, I'll play that like at a medium tempo through like a few strings, and you'll hear. Now I'll play it like a little faster, maybe 135, 140 beats per minute or so. Oops. You know, you can go all the way down, all the way up. It won't stay in E. Every time you change the string, it changes to the minor scale. If you're using that minor, it'll change the name of that string, whatever scale that is. You know, like if I change the B string, that'll be B harmonic minor, or if I change the G string, it'll be G harmonic minor. So this It's going to work over everything on every string. Like if you want to throw a little something like that in a song or something, it probably, if you're doing an E, you know, probably only work on like that, like E minor kind of riff stuff. But yeah. So that's a really good exercise and a good stamina exercise where you don't really have to pay attention to a lot of what your fingers are doing. So you can get really clean and accurate with the pick, and you'll be able to get, you know, like it almost forces you to start getting slower motions, you know? And like I was saying with the mutant thing, because I'm using a ton of gain on this amp, so I mean, you know, it's got a good amount of gain on it. So all them strings will start ringing out on you, you know, if you're not used to using that kind of gain. I know a lot of guys who want to back that off and stuff. Like I'm actually talking with some guy and like his amps have the most gain out of everything. So like, you know, if I can get that and it sounds good, it doesn't fizz out or anything like that, which it doesn't on that guy's amps, I'll use all the gain I can, and you can still sound clean. You just have to know how to mute the strings out. And I use a lot of with the palm. So if I'm playing the higher strings, I'll lean my palm. You know, and you can still move it. You're not going to hear that noise when you start playing the notes, you know. You're hearing my pick right there. So you're not going to hear that stuff. Because you know, you're not going to hear any of that transition noise. So here, I do that so these don't ring out. So if I don't do that, and I use a ton of gain, you know, back here, it's going to sound like crap. I mean, I can give you an example to the guys that don't know how to use a lot of gain. And hold on. Yeah, it's just not as clear. Now, if I'm playing strings on low open though, instead of muting them like I was, I'm still kind of muting them lower strings. I just give room for the G and D strings to be able to ring out, and vice versa. If I'm here and I'm playing these two, yeah, I'm really kind of like keeping the higher strings from ringing out with the left hand, if you understand what I'm saying. You know, so if I'm saying just playing with that middle finger, that whole back of my hand's keeping them high strings from ringing out. And then you can use a lot of gain after you get used to that, and it'll sound really clean. You know, whatever type of way you can. You know, I just wanted to show you can still play those notes without muting them when you're playing fast with a lot of gain, or when you're just playing with a lot of gain. You know, it's just a matter of knowing how to mute those things out. They also make like fret wraps, they call them, and stuff like that. They're pretty cool. I don't have any right now, but I was starting to use them. I was starting to get into how to use them. There's a guitar player I really like. His name's Greg Howe, and he has these like weird elastic rubber band ones, and they seem to move really good. And you can like just set them up here by the lock nut, and they snap into the neck and back. You know, they're real like elastic. I know they kind of use the Velcro, which are the more popular ones. They didn't seem to slide around as well, but maybe that was user malfunction. You know, maybe I should ask the people that use those more how to do that. And those are really cool, unless you want to play open strings, then you're beat. So anyway, that was sort of the picking exercise, and it's all 16th notes. You know, that picking exercise. I hope that helps some of you guys out with some picking. It's a real straightforward exercise, but I always gotten a lot out of that, especially sometimes that I haven't played for a while, and you know, I got a little rusty, so you know, it helps me get warmed up. I use it as a warm up. It helps me get back in, shake the rust off if I haven't played for a little while, even if it's a couple days. I mean, if you're trying to explore the guitar and build intensity with speed, and you want to have clarity, you want to have good transition time, with the fingers, so they have to be in sync with each other, but and it takes a little while to build that. But the first thing is to have a good solid foundation, being able to pick the notes anyway. And that exercise really does that for you, because you're not paying attention really to it's an interesting exercise, so it can hold some interest. You can change from the major and minor form on every string, and to keep it interesting, and it's just not boring. It's not like playing the same darn note, or whatever, whatever you want to do. Even if you were playing just a scale, like say we play D minor, or however you wanted to play it. It sounds a little more interesting, and I'm sure you could probably make a lot of that stuff I was just doing interesting with it too. So it's cool to experiment. Sometimes I do stuff and use arpeggio, or whatever. But for this lesson, we'll just focus on that, and then again, if we're doing it major, I'll start at the 17th fret, and then 17, 16, 14, 12. Whoop. The fret gremlins got in my way there. So, and then the minor would be start at the 15th fret, G. And it's E harmonic minor. And then I give 4 open note beats before I come, so it gives me plenty of time to come back up, right? So we'll play it slow one more time, so you guys got it. And we're doing 16th notes, and how like the guys in school, what have you, how they would teach it. It would be like 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and if you're doing it in a quarter note bar, so 4 beats per measure, so 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives you plenty of time to think about your transition as you're coming up to start it over again. So you keep cycling it over, really get that shedding and practicing going on, so you get that nice clean picking. And it helps you to think about the transition between this string and the next string, which will start on the down. You want to make sure you get a good solid down pick when you go there. So 1, 2, and down. Right, you want that down to be clean. So, and you can slow that down a lot. It's very good to play super slow, and then play as fast as you possibly can. Even if it's sloppy and the transition time ain't there, because you'll get the feel of what it's like to play fast, and slow down again, like super, super slow, and make sure you're getting the smallest motions of your pick going through the string though, and then the smallest motions to go to the next string as well. And that'll help your transition time. It'll help any noise or dirty stuff that's going on there, and you'll be able to pick really accurately. And that's the goal. And I go to a lot of videos like Paul Gilbert. I think he's like one of the best pickers like ever. Some people say Yngwie Malmsteen. I think they're both great as far as picking. So a lot of them exercises. I got some of them exercises and chops too that sound like both of them. So I'll be getting to you with them. But for now, enjoy the tremolo exercise. I hope that helps you guys with your picking. And maybe we'll talk about some more guitar, some gear, or if you guys want to know some more exercises. I know a lot of different stuff to help build your technique. Thanks a lot.